You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Wepa, what up, man? This is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, we have a rising star in the game, baby, that has a dope book that's dropping all the way in September. So there's no excuse for you not to pre-order it from your favorite LCS like ASAP, during the show, right after the show. Just make sure you pre-order this dope book called Undergrowth. Let me tell you, she's the girthy one. Self-porn. He even showed me in the green room. Oh my God. I'm telling you, man, this person is a creator, a YA novelist, like I said, rising star writer, the one, the only, Mr. Ricky Lima. How you doing, homie?
Oh, geez. That was what an amazing introduction. So good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on to the show to talk about Undergrowth, man, and allowing us the pleasure at Comic Crusaders to read the book as well in advance. And shit. Listen, this book is over 300 pages, folks. And let me tell you, when I sat down, I was like, wow, it's a lot. It's just, listen, you're going to sit down with this. This is perfect summer reading. You're gonna sit down. You're not gonna drop this book once you start reading. I promise you. I could not stop reading the book. I could not. I didn't even take a bathroom. Look, wait a minute. Look at this thing. I didn't take a bathroom break. Nothing. Look at that girthy thing right there. Look at that.
I know, right? It's so big. And you're saying you read it all in one sitting. Your arms, it's like a workout. Your arms, you'll be buff by the end of it, man. It's so big.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous book. You and your team have created something, again, different, fun, a different take. I mean, it's Caillou-ish.
Yeah. It was. I was really inspired by like the old Gundam series, like Gundam 79 and like Evangelion and stuff like that. So I was watching that and I was like, man, this stuff's really cool. And then I was trying to think of how I would do that. This book.
So we're gonna get into the origin of that nerddom. Then, for folks that don't know, let them know where you're originally from. And my most important question that's on everybody's mind: what was the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Oh man, okay. So I'm from Canada, Brampton, Ontario, just outside of Toronto. Very exciting stuff. It's a little sleepy city, not really much going on. Michael Cera is from Brampton, so there you go, a little connection there. Scott Pilgrim star, and then the first thing that got me into fandom, oh man, I guess technically would be like those animated shows, like the Spider-Man 95 and X-Men 96, and those 90s comic things. And then my brother, he was really big into collecting comics, like collecting. Like Lobo specifically was his big thing. And he would put all like the cool books he had on his wall, and then I would sit there and look at him and I'd be like, whoa, look at that, man, that's so cool. So I think maybe like Lobo was my first introduction into comics. And then
I mean, because Lobo definitely, I know I'm sure he was the Busy Lobo guy. So like, how old were you when you were seeing these books? Because I know that show wasn't really meant for you.
So I was probably like, I was born 88. That was probably in like 93, 94. So that must have made me like 6 or 7. I mean, realistically, probably shouldn't have been looking at Lobo comics at that age, but whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, like I've said on the show before, my mama was buying me Savage Sword Conan when I was 8, not knowing what was in there. Like, hey, bring it on, mom.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of my siblings are like older than me, like a lot older than me. So growing up, I was just exposed to all those things that they were into, so I was never really into like the kid stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my brothers, essentially. Now they're big horror fans and movie fans and gore fans, especially the middle one, he's demented. Daniel Black. Now, so were you, outside of your family, were you kind of alone in your geekdom, if you will? Or did you have a tribe that you will, and express your geekhood?
Yeah, I think luckily growing up, a lot of the people around me were into the same stuff, like the X-Men stuff. We would all kind of get together and like try and draw our own X-Men, like ourselves as mutants and stuff. So that was really great. We were able to do all that. And then I was lucky to grow up kind of at the rise of the internet. So then at that time, you know, you're on the internet, you're finding communities there, you find like little communities of people who are into comics and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you find those people everywhere, right?
I bet. So, when did you start getting that creative bug in you, if you will? When does that start coming?
Um, I think for me, it was kind of like right from the beginning. I was always kind of making stuff, but then it was finding what I wanted to make that really kind of solidified everything, and that came about in university when I was reading comics like Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that. And then as I was reading that, I was like, you know, I could do that. I mean, why not? Why can't I do that? So I started looking into it, and originally I wanted to be just like a regular writer, but then I found comics was like a lot better for me. I really enjoyed like the whole process. Then from there, so I'm always making stuff, but when it was like comics specifically, that's when it really kind of took off.
How did you learn the process of comics? What was your intro in learning that?
It was just doing it. I think in high school I would like make really stupid comics for my friends and stuff, and then from there you kind of like learn the language, I guess. And then in when I wrote my first book, it was called Deep Sea. It was like a short 8-page book. In that one, I worked with a guy who had made comics before. So David Bishop was the guy, and he kind of showed me like, you know, how it's done.
How did you meet him?
So with David Bishop, I worked at a comic shop here in Brampton in like 2012, and then we were at a Wizard show. Wizard used to put on these Comic Cons, and we had a table right beside David, and I was like, "Whoa, David, this stuff's awesome!" And then we got to talking, and then eventually we just kind of were like, "We should make a book together." And so we did that 8-page book, and then from there I wrote a graphic novel for it, and we kickstarted that, and then it kind of just went from there. And you meet new people, and you learn new things as you go. So I think for me, the process of learning how to make comics took about 10 years. and then now we have Undergrowth, which is like my first book, you know what I mean? But it took 10 years to get there.
Wow. So what was the biggest lesson in that 10-year journey, you know, for you to, you know, finally build this beautiful looking baby here called Undergrowth?
Oh, thank you. I think the biggest lesson I learned is just to like do it. You know what I mean? Oftentimes people are like, man, I really want to write a book. And it's like, okay, well, do it. You know what I mean? Don't talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean? And so it's like finding the consistency to do it, and finding the time is the biggest thing, I think. So for me, when I was writing Undergrowth, I would, after work every day, I would go to like a coffee shop, get a coffee, and just sit down and write for like 2 hours. And even if you don't do anything for those 2 hours, I think it's important to like be there and try at least, you know what I mean? So that was the biggest lesson I learned. And then when COVID hit, kind of derailed me a little bit, but I'm trying to get back on track, you know?
So how was COVID treating you in Canada, being that you guys are up there? You know, was everything closed down like it was in the States? Did you have access to books, comic shops? I mean, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, so now it's like pretty much back to like 2019 levels, but for us, we were on lockdown for like almost all of 2020. I know in America, you guys were like on lockdown for like 2 weeks, and then everything kind of opened up again. But for us, we were on lockdown until like, I think August, and then they opened up very briefly for like 2 months. And then at the end of 2020, we closed down again. And then in 2021, it was kind of like hit or miss. But luckily for me, I had finished writing the book by 2020. And then Daniele, the artist, he was able to just kind of focus on drawing it pretty much all of 2020 and 2021. And for him, it was really good. He was able to focus on doing that and just kind of making it, right? So it was really good. Being able to like have a friend.
Beautiful. I'm saying that's because again, having the time to draw. But again, this is no small feat. We're talking, you know, over 200 pages of art. This is no joke. I mean, that's a lot of work, man.
No, Daniele, he's a machine, man. He went to school for comics, and so he's like a professional. You know what I mean? So I'm really lucky to be able to work with him.
So talk about that promance there. How did you guys meet?
I don't even remember, man. I think it was like an online thing. I think I posted looking for an artist, and then he responded saying like, "Hey, I'd do it," and I was like, "Okay," and then that was it. And then we just started working together, and it turned out we like really meshed well together. It's really cool because like he's a quiet guy, I'm a quiet guy, I think. And so the way we worked was like just do it, you know what I mean? So it was a really good process because I would write it, he would draw it, and we wouldn't really necessarily talk about it too much because he was like so locked into the world and he had his own vision, and I was like totally supportive of his vision for the book. So like we would talk about just like random stuff like as like friends, but we rarely ever kind of like went over the book and like talked about like revisions and stuff. We rarely ever did that. He pretty much got it like first try. So it was great.
Wow. You know what, folks? We're talking about all this, right? So as we talk about it, let's show you some beautiful pages. First up, of course, is that cover. Is that by Daniele as well? The cover?
Yeah, that he did that cover, yeah.
Look at that. I love it. And I love the font used for the title. I mean, that definitely gets you thinking. Attractive cover, colorful. You know what I mean? I dig it. And then boom, just look at that, folks. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was originally published or self-published in black and white as like little single issues. And then we got the colorist, Yulia, she like took it to the next level, you know what I mean?
Wait, when did you publish this as single issues? Shit, I want to find them single issues too. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a couple if you want. I can hook you up, but
I want to see them in black and white just for comparison's sake, because your colorist, let me tell you, that's something that I love. Good coloring. It definitely can make or break a book. And wow, your colorist here is a monster.
Yeah, I went through like maybe 2 colorists before I found her, and she was like, you know, same thing with me and Daniele. She was just head to the stone, just working, grinding, putting out pages, and they turned out fantastic. You know what I mean?
Who's doing the lettering?
Andrew Thomas. He's a friend of mine from here in Ontario. He's lettering Kevin Smith's new book, the Quick Stop books.
Oh, so okay, cool.
Yeah, he's really great. He's doing that. He did the new what's his name? The guy who did well, man, I don't know, I forgot. But he's a working professional. He's really good.
I should be the one forgetting. I just smoked the bowl before we were fucking on. Come on, man. That is also why I was so immersed in the world, man. Let me tell you that you know, I have a good imagination. Shit, I was smelling the battle scenes in this. I mean, like, look at this, folks. I mean, if you guys are into giants fighting one another, because this is casual-ish, like I said before. So, you know what? Start talking about this. Let people know. Introduce us, if you will, to the world of Undergrowth.
Okay, well, so I've been pitching this a lot, and so it's about these teens who like live on this planet that's being invaded by invaders, and then one night they're killed by the invaders, but brought back to life by the spirit of the planet and given these giant organic mechs to fight back. So the story kind of follows like the teens dying and coming back to life, and the trauma of them dying and having to save the world and everything. And I like to tell people that like every character is touched by some form of trauma. You know what I mean? Like even the robot is kind of dealing with a little bit of trauma. So the book's very heavily based on that kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah. Also introducing the tech and the version of tech, and it's something that everybody talks about nowadays. So, you know, I hope that's not what happens, you know, with the rise of this new technology.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, it also touches on like environmental issues. It touches on a little bit of AI, I guess. What else? It touches on like on the concept of work. I found for me when I was writing it, I really wanted to focus on like the idea of work as well. So like you have the scientist who's like so focused on getting the work done and doing that, and then it kind of destroys. Spoiler alert! I don't want to spoil anything, but you know he gets obsessed with work. You know.
Yeah, or and just like with any family, when you're up for work, some things will suffer, unfortunately. And and how does that motivate you or not motivate you? We find out. Holy smokes, the stuff that goes on here, man. You have a sick brain. So, like, what are your
What?
inspirations? Because you were bringing stuff in. I mean, when I was seeing the fights and what the concept of what's happening, if you will, I don't want to ruin it, as to why things are happening, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, what the fuck? This guy is insane. I love this. I was reading this, and it felt like a animated film. The motion, it's eye candy. It's just motion, the action, the story. You actually do care about the characters, which again, lately in comics is not something that happens. I'll be honest. You
Oh
know,
man.
they make so many characters nowadays. It's like, who gives a shit? But the story, oh, they died. Oh, okay, move on. But no, over here, like you created something, and even that internal conflict between certain characters, like wow, you're like, what's going on? And then it's cool. I love how you touch everything here. You did a fantastic job for your first
Yeah.
whole book like this, man. Ricky, salute, folks. Put
Yeah.
this up before, right?
Man, you're being too nice to me, man. Oftentimes
I
you
love
make
the
a book.
book, man. Listen, I get to see a lot of books, a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of that I could just read through. Like, okay, it was cool, and I enjoy. But not many like made me happy. You're like, oh man, either that or I'm just becoming a graphic novelist guy. Because again, something that just took time and I got immersed. So again, great job.
Oh man, well, you're too kind. You're too kind. But like I was saying before, the book was really inspired by like Gundam 79, that original series, and the anime Evangelion. So I would watch those. Shows on like my commute to work. I'd watch it on my phone, and then I'd be like, just watching it. You're like, these people are going through so much shit, and it's like it's wild. But then at the same time, there's really cool robot battles, and I was like, man, I really want to kind of see how I would figure out how to make a cool robot battle, but then feature. So my original idea was like just pure robot battles. I was like, all right. But then as I was going, the characters kept popping up, those pesky characters. So then I was like, oh, well, I guess that's the real focus of the story. So then I started to like rethink, it's not just about the robots. Now it's about, the characters dealing with what they're dealing with. And then I was like, yeah, I guess like with the Gundam series and Evangelion, that's really kind of what these people are going through, and that's the real hook of these stories. So as much as I wanted to focus on the cool robot battles, I really had to sit back and focus on the characters. So like issue 1, it focuses a lot on the characters. Issue 2 has like a cool robot battle, and then it's like basically just like characters for the rest of the time. There's really only like 4 robot battles in the whole thing. You know what I mean? So,
but the story flows and it's interesting, and it's like what's gonna happen next, what's popping, and again, there's a certain scene where you learn like, oh well, if you do this, oh man, it's gonna pop. And someone was very overzealous. I said, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And then wow, you really picked it up from there. Like, okay, I thought everything was gonna be nice and calm, bro. You fucked me up there. So, oh shit.
Good. I'm glad.
And again, look what I'm saying about the coloring and also the artistry. I mean, this looks like it could be completely animated. Look how gorgeous that is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't. When some creators are like, I make comics so that I can make a movie, it kind of bugs me a little bit because it's like, make a comic because comics are the best form of making anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah. Right.
Yes.
So as much as like I would love to see this as an animated series or an animated movie, I do think that like it stands out on its own, and I really think that it's like I really wanted it to feel like its own thing, but at the same time to be something that other people could, latch onto and create their own stuff as well. I'm a very big proponent of like allowing people to take an idea and then growing it as well. So, I mean, the comic was written as a comic and as its own thing, but I'm super into like someone else taking it and making something else. So if like, a studio wanted to make a movie, we would make a movie, but it would have to be a movie. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't just be a shot-for-shot remake of the comic. It'd have to be its own thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Oh man, but again, I love. Look at this. Look at that, yo. What? Yeah. Gangster scene. That's the poster right there, boy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You just put the title on that. There you go.
Yeah, man. Now, yeah, I could definitely see because you know, the story where it ends, you know, did it end? Is there an end? Because I don't did it. I mean, because man, like when you're talking about, you know, people expanding, man, do I see an opening for hell a sequel?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I feel the best piece of writing advice I ever got was that your audience imagination is 10 times better than anything you can ever come up with. So I think it's very important to like plant these seeds in the book that inspire the reader to then think of like their own stories in that universe, or think of like, oh, what could happen later? Because then that allows them to become a little bit more engaged in the story, because they're kind of creating a story along with you. And, you know, I mean, sometimes you might get like someone just making some wackadoodle story and you're like, whoa, man, you like totally missed every point of the book. But you know what? That's their prerogative. That's their right to do something like that. You know what I mean? If they want to misinterpret the story, I ain't going to stop them. I mean, you know, go for it, you know?
No, it's definitely a great book. And folks, look, I've been showing that off. So you can learn more, Ricky. Line Press Online, what's that?
Yeah, so that's like my self-published stuff. So everything that I self-publish, I put out through Line Press, cool. And it's just my own stuff. It's not like I publish anything else. And yeah, I mean, one day I did an interview and they spelled my name Ricky Lime, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So then Line Press kind of came out of that.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. But and then you can give them a follow on Instagram or socials at King K Rule. You can follow his artist on Instagram at Daniele_AQU. All right. And this book, folks, that way you guys know, will be available at comic shops on the 4th, bookstores on the 3rd. All right. From what I understand, it's available for pre-order right now from Top Shelf, baby. Indigo and Amazon. And again, as you've been saying, Purple fans, Neon Genesis, Punch Up, First Test, more. I mean, this is for you. You got to make this happen. Now, I got to talk Top Shelf. I mean, you know, you say the book had come out through single issues prior. Was it through Top Shelf, or did you decide upon Top Shelf for the whole shebang graphic novel?
Yeah, so I had self-published all of the issues myself as like single issues. Okay. I don't have any copies here right now, but well, I might. I don't know. Hold on one second. I might have
somewhere. They're buried somewhere.
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So this is the self-published one, and you can see here. This is like the black and white art.
Oh, nice! Check that out. Bad.
Yeah. So you know, so it looks really cool, black and white.
It does, beautiful, but wow, it goes to show what a difference the color has made too. I mean,
yeah, right. And then we had like the original logo was like, I wanted to describe it as like the Transformers logo in a jungle after like 100 years. So it was like, so that's what it was like. And yeah, so I had self-published the 8 issues under Line Press, and then Chris Staros had like he's the publisher at Top Shelf. He has like a comic mentoring situation. So I'd signed up for that, and I was just coloring. I was paying the colorist to color Undergrowth really slowly. I was just like, let's do like a page a week, something like that, something that I could afford. And then when I showed it to Chris, he saw it and he's like, yeah, let's like publish this right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So then, you know, with the Top Shelf, I was able to pay the colorist a little bit quicker. So we were able to get the book out sooner. Although it did take a long time, like from talking to Chris to now, it was like 3 years. So it's been a long time. Yeah. The whole process, I started in 2018, like the end of 2018. Yeah, it's been almost like 5 years we've been making this. It's crazy, man.
It's all right. I mean, it's slow and steady, and the product that came out of it is beautiful. You know, because again, why rush? You're gonna rush. You're gonna come up possibly with a shitty project.
Exactly.
It's good to take your time. Let me tell you, folks, you will not be disappointed. It shows the book,
man.
the quality,
Good.
man. Great story. The team, the whole team is just amazing. So for real,
I'm very lucky. I was able to work with these people. They're so great. So.
I mean, come on, you had let me see. There's been some advanced praise. Derek Laufman from Runeworld, a beautifully crafted, epic, and original kaiju tale that will leave your jaw on the floor. Dylan Burnett from Arcade Kings. I love that book. Whimsical, tender, witty, explosive, weird, and also dang pretty to look at. Absolutely. Xander Cannon, I mean, because we're talking about kaijus, and for his book, Kaiju Max, he goes wild, weird, and strangely heart-wrenching. Undergrowth is a lot of fun, a tale of terror and obsession, told with great empathy and off-the-charts excellent mech violence. Yes, and he goes, yeah, he told you there's only 4, but those 4, brutal, boom, boom, boom. You hear the punch, baby. That's what I'm saying. How many books made me excited? And I look, and again, I'm steering away from the superhero stuff. It's just getting so corny lately, It's become novellas. It's not like what I remember. You know what I mean? This is different. It's fun. New world. New things. Thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I was trying to think the other day. I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, "What is something new that's coming out that's not part of like an established series that we're excited about?" And it was like really nothing. Everything is all just kind of like part of an established series and nothing new is being made. So I'm really happy that I'm able to make something new and make it good, or at least I think it's good. You're saying it's good.
Yeah, I think so. You got these bosses here saying the same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it. And again, we're going to post that top shelf. Hey, like the name says, only top shelf. All right, baby. All right.
Hey, that's true.
All right. So you're guaranteed a good story. And again, folks, I can't repeat this enough. It's gonna hit bookstores on the 3rd. That's he corrected me. Comic book shops on the 4th, but it's available for pre-order now. All right. I got the links below on the notes to the show notes, so you can go click, to top shop and on Amazon. All right. But again, check it out. You want this book on your shelf. I mean, show how good he is again. So that self porn. Look at that. Look at that. Oof. Look at that. Oh, let's see the back. Look at that art on the back.
It's got flaps.
Oh, where it got flaps, bro? Got
like a little printing on the inside here.
Oh, cool.
And then it wraps around to the back.
Man.
Dude, this is a sweet book. And like my day job is book production. Like I make books for a publishing house. Yeah. And so like holding this and the production on this book is impressive. I know my books, and this one is pretty good.
Yeah, baby, that's right. And it'll look good on people's shows when they pick it up in September. But again, pre-order right now. Again, you won't be disappointed. For the kaiju fan of your life, or I guess again, it has its paranormal stuff going on. So I would say that as well for paranormal fans. For fans that like a slice of life, because definitely has that. Definitely has action if you want that. Got everything. I'm digging it.
You're selling the book so well, man. I'm such a shitty salesman. You got this.
I'm selling, man. I'm just talking about it because this ain't sales. It's coming from here, man. Because again, when I get excited about my son, it's just real. So again, thank you, man. Giving me something to take me away from the world for a little bit. Because again, like I said, I was immersed. Woo! I was in it.
I can show you something else that I did. Hold on.
We're gonna get a spoiler over here, folks. We're getting a tease over here, folks. There's something else.
So these during the pandemic, I got a 3D printer and I commissioned a guy to make little figures. Check that out.
Oh shit! No, you did it.
Yeah. So like, there's like those guys. You got this one right here. So
shit,
they're pretty cool. Yeah. Right.
Nice. Oh, that's so fucking dope, man. I gotta get a damn 3D printer, man. I gotta do my mascots. I would love to.
You totally do, man. 3D printers are like the next. They're so cool. You can do anything with them. The only thing is like you need a 3D model, so you need to like know how to 3D model or pay someone to do it. But other than that, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's so cool.
3D modeling. All right. I must learn another thing now.
Yeah, exactly.
I will figure that shit out. Actually, but hey, ChatGPT might be able to give you 3D models. No, I think I saw a GPT that provides models.
Yeah, but I don't know how good they'd be. They'd probably be pretty crappy. I don't know.
Well, that's why you edit after the fact and compare. Anytime I've used a GPT, I always do. I never trusted GPT in my life. Just let me compare what's going on here. Bullshit. I
don't think ChatGPT would be able to make these figures. I'd be like, oh, make Undergrowth figures. ChatGPT would be like, what the hell is Undergrowth? He'd be like,
no.
Right.
Although there's now stuff where you could upload an image and it tries to do it.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen those. You can upload an image, and it works off the image. Although on me, it makes me look totally weird. It's just like, no, that ain't me. Who the fuck is that? Alternate universe Al looks totally different than this Al. Let me tell you. Anyway, all right. So this is great. Again, folks, all his links are below as well in the show notes for you to follow. Also, check out the website, Mind Press Online, for his personal goodies and that you can check out. Follow him on the socials. Check out his team. Check out Top Shelf. Big salute to Melissa from DHPR for putting this together. If you're a creator out there needs some help, again, she chooses her clients wisely. So if you got a fire project that needs some help, she could definitely help you out there. So check out don'thypepr.com. All right, Wepa. That's what we do, baby. So remember, follow Ricky. Get the book Undergrowth Crusaders, because this is something that's going to be sexy on your shelves, all right? I'm Al Mega. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in to another Comic Crusaders podcast. Ricky, you are the man. Thank you for your time, and thank you for creating such a fun book from a fan to a creator. Again, thank you and your creative team.
You.
And if this is your first whole one, I can't wait to see what else is coming up in the Lima verse, baby. It's going to be fire. I'm sure.
All right. Me too. I'm excited.
Yeah, what we're going to do is, brother. So you heard it first here. The Lima verse is coming. Stay tuned. Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.